Just for context, let me just show you how this is supposed to work. Um, let's go to the backend. So I was building this backend in FastAPI, and there's these are the routers. And what's going to happen essentially is that um, instead of the where is the app? Instead of this fast API constructor, I'm going to make a constructor that inherits from fast API. I have it somewhere here. Let me show it to you. I think it's in scrap. Yeah. So yeah, this is the class that is going to be using our di function. And first, suppose you have a get request. Um, the first thing that is going to happen is that the given function is going to be convert. Okay, let me. I just don't want to explain this. Just take a look at it and you'll get it in like 10 seconds. And yeah, just read this code. It'll all make sense. And over time, when I'm done with the DI system, what I'll do is uh, instead of this using this deck, I will be using my own function to handle the request. So this fast API thing will get removed over time. But right now, since I'm building the DI system, I just need a function that can do this stuff, and then just give a route handler with resolve dependencies to the fast API get method. So I resolve the dependencies using this function, and then I just give it to the fast API function, the fast API get method, and that's it. The function that returns from calling FastAPI.get. I hope you get the point. Because the reason why we do that is, if you notice, in when we're working with FastAPI, it's like this app.get. So you're calling the get function, and then the function that returns from the get is the one that decorates the route handler. Yeah, so that's what I'm kind of doing. How do I fix this? Like, yeah, no, I don't know what to do. Let's just remove this and yeah, okay. Now I'm going to mute again since I don't want to speak. It takes away all the energy that I'm supposed to be using for coding too. Yeah. And I'm not, I was first like testing it directly with my backend. But now since it was getting difficult, so now I'm working on it separately with small test cases. Let me show you. uh, yeah, so I built these small test cases, and what they're doing is they're resolving the dependencies of the given functions. I first did it. Oh, I think, yeah. Thank God the mic is on. I first did it for a synchronous function with recursive dependencies. And this depends key class is just a simple class. Let me show you. It's just a small class that's just supposed to take in the function or the dependency object, and it's just supposed to store it with itself. And I just use it somewhere, I don't remember. Yeah, dot func. And that's it. I'm just gonna stop speaking now. Actually, let me just tell it again. It's a synchronous function with like recursive dependencies. Foo depends on bar depends on nothing, and foo also depends on foo bar, which depends on bar. And yeah, it all gets resolved and it works. Then you can find this on GitHub and play around with it. Then I have this an async function that has an async dependency and a synchronous dependency. This was a test that I also made work, and you can see what it is. And then I have this guy, which is at the top level. I have a synchronous function which depends on an async and async function, and there's some recursive stuff. You can see the details here. Then I had this T4, which was in which the dependency was the dependency bar was a generator. And now I need an async generator. So that's what we're going to be doing. Hopefully. Let me just keep the mic on. The first thing that I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be seeing what is an async generator. Like I need to know, get some examples in my head. Let's just go here. Um, uh, uh, yeah, is generator function. Yeah, this is what I'm looking for. Actually, I can look at it myself. Like it needs to have like the I think when I call it, then it needs to have the a next and stuff like that. I don't exactly remember, so we'll just use this guy. And it's actually better because anytime the bundles get updated, if they get updated, then we don't need to care about it because we're working at a level of abstraction, and Python will hopefully update this as well. Async def foo void 100 is async gen function, and so okay. I actually know about this function because I tried. I have a previous attempt at making the DI system, which was this, but it was causing lots of weird bugs, and I made lots of mistakes while implementing this, and it so I just threw it in scrap and I made it again from start. So that's why I know about these things. So worry if you don't know about this, and I actually just searched the documentation a bit and then I found these functions. You don't have to think like I am some genius or something. Oh, oh, oh. Uh, the mic still on? Mhm. Okay. Uh, so that's what we're gonna use. No, for a complex example, we're gonna need to make a context manager. Let's just make a test now. I think we're at a good point to make a test. P5. I need to see. We are in glossary right now. I need yeah. It can contain await expressions as well as async for and async with statements, and it must contain yield expressions. It is an async function which must contain yield. It can contain async for and can contain async with. Okay, let's try. Oh, sorry. I forgot how to do async I.run. Um, why do I have to? No. Okay, and I don't have the energy to make an async context manager. We will just make it in the tests. We're making it right now. Now what I need is um, yeah, a enter, a exit. Okay, okay, okay. And what I wanted to look at was a enter requires no arguments. A exit requires self, exit type, exit union. It's basically fork. Do we have four? One, two, three, four, and one. Okay, this should work. Um, a Yeah. Okay. Uh, who wrote this? Mm, for now, let's try to make async work on async. I need to update my. Let's see. To see actually. So what we can do is we need to simplify the test. That's the first thing. This doesn't matter. Bar 2, we don't need. Do we need it? Let's keep it as is. Mm, depends on bar. I'm going to simplify it a lot so that I can make it work for the basic case first. Then I can make it work for other things. Depends bar. Um, this is X, okay, and Y is my dependency. I don't have a Z, and when I try to run it, I should get an error or something. Uh, okay, thank God. We got an error. Not an error, but it ran but erroneously. Let's think about what happened here. We got an async generator object. What happened was I gave this guy to generic DI. Where is generic DI? I gave this guy to generic DI. It is dep is false, and first I tried to make the name and okay, so we work. Okay, I need to add something. Uh, yeah. Oh, it's an async. Oh no. Maybe it has a synchronous password bearer. It is call. What did I look at? I had. Okay. Mm, let me grab my jacket. Cold. I think we'll get the parameters just fine. It won't be a problem. The main problem will be, yeah. First, we need to add a dependency. Um, I'm doing this because I have a doubt. Okay. Okay. So it isn't a big problem. So let us. No, I'm looking for this guy. Is async junk function? Um, I guess I'm gonna have to do this. Yeah, I'm an async gen function, and okay, thank God. Um, okay. Um, no issue till now. Okay, okay. So callable has to be at the bottom, I think, because um, uh, ah, I wonder. Okay, okay, okay. We have a call. Okay, okay. That's why it's at the bottom. Because anything and every each of these guys probably has a call. That's why I put it at the bottom. I sometimes forget why I do things. So okay, okay, okay. I'm not sure why I did this. I maybe I'm trying to. Why am I doing this? I don't need to do this. Yeah, it should work without it. And I think I did this to keep in my head how context managers work. We can just leave it. Mm, there's no issue in keeping it. I think I did it to see whether or not this this exit would get called before with this yield. Yeah, and we'll just leave it. I had some bug in T4. That's why I wanted to check whether a bug exists in T4, and that's why I did that. I yeah. Hmm. Okay. Oh, ho, 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 ho. Mm, hmm. Hmm. Okay, I remember why I did this. I have all these different cases because if I am if the current dependency, it can be at the recursive level or it can be the top level. You can see that from the isDef flag, but no matter. I did that because even if you put yield inside a conditional, the whole function becomes a generator, and things that are not even generators will then be treated like generators, and that is a problem because it will just keep waiting for the functions will the current dependency. If we transform it, if we make a function for it, a transform function for it that is a generator, then we'll be you will be using like the with statement to wrap this transform dependency, and that will be bad. It will use up unnecessary stack space. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The exit stack will get polluted with just empty exit methods. Yeah, that's why I separated a pure function from a sorry, a generator from a pure function. And but now what I'm going to do is I'm going to write I don't know why I did this. It I basically trusted the programmer that yeah, I think that should work and this will not affect my code. What's this? I did something else. I did change this guy. Yeah, with these changes all my previous tests should pass. Where's T1? T1 is what changes did I make to T1, bro? Um, okay, so T1 has no changes. It's just warnings. Okay, okay. Um, X should be okay. X should be this thing. It is. Y should be. Y is depends on bar. Y is should be 100. Y should be 100 and Z should be. It depends on foo bar. It should be foo bar bar colon 100. Z foo bar bar colon 100 and Y is 100. Okay, T1 is passing. Python T2 2.5. This is T2. I should like put an assert or something to check whether I should make a test orchestrator that asserts whether these values are equal, but I don't have the energy to do that. When the tests get too much, then I'll have to do it. Like if I get like 10 tests or something, then it will be very tedious to run all these again and again. Or I can just wait for my me to get frustrated naturally, which I will, and just write the orchestrator. Okay. So let's just write. I'll do it after a stream. It would be unfair to do it right now in the stream. Okay. Because the stream's title is something else. uh, X comma W int. So this dependency got this parameter of the dependency got to the top level. W equal 12, W equal 12. Where is W? W should be 12. Yeah, yeah. Okay, W is 12. And okay, so first the bar runs and bar runs again because before foo bar we have to run bar, and then that's why we're getting two W's. And okay, and after the first W we should get bar 2, which is 100. We should get 200, and then yeah. If we had a print statement here, we would get the second print, and then we would get this return statement 100 200 foo bar bar ye, and foo bar is Z, and Z is this, and Z is this, Y is 100, X is this. Okay, Python t3.py. Oh my god, how will I read this? Okay, okay, it's pretty simple. Like, we don't need to care about the signatures right now. Okay, let's just yeah. So X uh, uh, and since we have an int in bar 2 who, okay, so this, okay, after running this I'm gonna try something, but okay, I think it's working. Yeah, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try something which I know should according to the code that I wrote for the DI, it should work. Yeah, I did. It did. It worked. And we can see it in foo. Foo has X, and what's this? This is weird. No, this is not weird. It's the same as before. Nice, 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 nice. It did work. Basically, what I was thinking was like the this wow thing is gonna get passed from bar to directly to foo, and this wow parameter is gonna get added through foo bar into foo as well, but we won't have duplicates because we're handling that. Okay, that's pretty cool. Yeah. um and I don't think I ruined the test. We can make it its separate test. I'll rename this to T6 6, and I'll make a T5 which is T5.5. I'll move this guy to T5, and I'll just revert the change. And in T5, sync function has a synchronous dependency and an asynchronous dependency. What we can do is we can like we can get a W here. I think this would cause a problem. Let me check something. No, let's not check here. Let's check it here. What I want to do is I want to move this X over here. And I want to see what happens. I think it worked. That's cool. That's cool. That's pretty cool. Ah, nice. And if I revert the change, I think we're back. Yeah. Okay. And who is X and wow? X and wow. A B. I can remove this metadata, but let's just leave it for now. Yeah, let's just do it. Like I'm saying, like this doesn't need to show up. I just need to have int here, a colon int, because the dependency has been resolved. Hmm. I think everything is the same. So okay, and T5. Okay. What was I going to do? Yeah, I was going to write some stuff for T5. T5 is brand new. We just need to write a synchronous function as a synchronous dependency and an asynchronous dependency. Okay. But now that is not no longer the case because bar is asynchronous and foo bar. Okay, so foo bar is, and okay, let's just do it like this. And foo bar depends on bar and bar 2, and we have a synchronous function depending on async and sync, and a sync dependency depending on a sync and async, which is exactly what the test is saying. But a synchronous dependency foobar has a synchronous dependency bar 2 and an asynchronous dependency bar. What was I doing again? Oh shit, shit, shit. Could have just done this. I can't read this. I don't know what to do. I just have to manually read all this code. I can't like resolve the look at the diffs. It's too tiring. We have a coroutine function. We just first we try to bind it, and if it fails, the exception gets to the top level. Then we have a depth map, and we sync callables. We call all the sync callables with the arguments resolved, and then we add it to our depth map, the return value. If you have coroutine functions, they get awaited and run, and then we have this, uh, and then we run this function. Okay. If we look at this guy, sync callable coroutine function, and then okay, this thing will be vastly different. This thing will be the same. Then this generator function thing will be according to async generators. Okay, I'll just do it later.